Welcome back, everyone. Please welcome our next presenter. We have SinglePoint. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol SING and is a sustainable lifestyle company in the solar energy and air purification markets who aims to build the largest renewable energy solutions network and modernize the traditional solar energy and energy storage business model. Please welcome its CEO, Wil Ralston. Welcome, Wil.
Hi, Anna. Thank you for having us on today. Doing great. How are you?
Great. Thank you. We're excited to hear about your company. So please take it away when you're ready.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thanks for hosting today. And thank you to Emerging Growth for putting on this presentation. And also for everybody who's shown up and is currently tuned into watching this. We'll definitely have some Q&A afterwards. And anything that we don't get to, we do our best to follow up with those questions that don't get answered in a timely format. So with that said, thanks again for tuning in. My name is Wil Ralston. I'm the CEO of SinglePoint, and we'll hop into our presentation here. So SinglePoint, who we are, what do we do? We've been trading on OTC, fully reporting, 35,000 shareholders, built a large network over the last 4 or 5 years, really. In 2018, I joined the company again as the president with really the focus on ensuring that SinglePoint continued to have a focus and drive the company towards the ultimate goal for us, which is getting up to the NASDAQ and growing this and creating shareholder return. So since 2018, we've become fully reporting, and we've been fully reporting ever since. Recently, we were able to make one of our largest acquisitions in Boston Solar, which has been a phenomenal addition to the company. And we're also in the air purification space. And both of these markets are very heavily favored right now and have tailwinds from the government. We had ESSER funds totaling $121 billion specifically for schools to be utilized in improving ventilation and their indoor air quality. And now recently we've had the Inflationary Reduction Act bill, which is really spurring solar energy, renewable energy as a whole. But it's really going to be a boon for the solar space as they've increased tax credits up to 30% and extended them out for another 10 years. They've added battery backup and energy storage as a part of that. So we're really excited to have both of the arms of our companies have this type of support and really have this top of mind talking about improving the environment, improving the areas you live in, and improving overall quality of life. And that's really what we're here to do, is be able to acquire the right companies that have a high quality of customer service, a high level of ability to grow and scale, and also a great understanding of who they serve and what they're doing and really what their focus and goal is in the market. So currently, this is how we're broken up between the different subsidiaries that we have. You can see we have our renewable energy assets, which we've made quite a few acquisitions over the past couple of years. The first one being direct solar. Ultimately, what we're looking for is that fully vertical scale, meaning we can go from lead generation, which is energy-wise, all the way down through to installation, which is Boston Solar. And at every step of the way, really where we're unlocking the value for the customers and really understanding everything is that high level of customer service, high touch point, high understanding of the business, really being able to provide the best solution to them and ultimately creating that value for them. And we want to create that lifetime value, be able to go back to the customers when there's maybe new panels coming out, or if they just go solar and they want to add energy storage, we can go back to those customers to create that value. Our most recent acquisition is Frontline Power Solutions. And this is, they're serving the commercial side, which really opens up our ability to go and serve the commercial businesses within solar. Again, out of the Northeast, and we are selling wholesale energy to those commercial businesses. And what that acquisition really does is it provides a huge network. And again, we're all about building this network and being able to monetize the network. And that's super important. So it builds the network of those commercial businesses for us to cross-sell our solutions. So now companies like Boston Solar in our portfolio will be able to go out and install solar, energy storage, everything at these commercial businesses, which is very exciting for us. On the other side, we've got Box Pure Air. And recently they've made another addition to their portfolio, which again is important because we're building this school network. There was the ESSER funds that I mentioned earlier of $121 billion dedicated to schools. And we want to come in and be able to provide the solutions they're looking for. So we led off with the air purification, which has been huge. And now that we've had this network, They're asking for more. What else can you provide? What else do you have for us? Ultimately, we want to be able to go in with the solutions that they need. So it's a very exciting segment as well. And as you can see here, this is what it's all about in becoming fully vertically integrated. We want to be able to take our customers through the entire customer experience, the entire journey of working through with us. And we're very excited about that. It's a little bit fragmented. It's actually very fragmented in the solar market, whether you're coming in and going through, a outside vendor that then you're working with a different installer. We want to make it seamless. As we continue to grow and expand, we'll look for additional accretive acquisitions, accretive companies that are able to help expand our network and what we're doing to monetize that. So as we move forward, we'll look to add additional companies that maybe are servicing in the energy efficiency space. It could be wind, additional EV charging companies. There's a huge market out there right now within this solar and renewable space, and it's not going to be just one single aspect of it that really explodes the growth of this company. It's going to be a collection of all of our companies working together, being able to cross-sell, being able to provide each one of them with the solutions that they need to grow, which ultimately benefits SinglePoint and our shareholders. So what we've really set off on, again, with the beginning of Boston Solar, is building a national network of installers. Solar is very fragmented, meaning what we sell in Boston and the rebates that are available in Boston and Massachusetts are completely different than Arizona or Florida or Illinois. And so you have to go out and find the high quality installers, also known as EPCs, in the market. And it all starts with the people that are on the roofs. It's very important to know that your installers are out there, that your crews are out there, and that they're putting on a great reputation for the company, because that's who your customers are interacting with. And that's where we're starting. So we're finding these high quality installation companies, the EPCs, to ensure that we create a great network. So we'll expand, basically going from the Northeast and out through the rest of the United States. And with that, we'll have shared services, which will help increase profitability at each company and increase efficiencies across the companies. But really, we want to be able to grow effectively and efficiently throughout the United States. And we're very happy with the acquisition of Boston Solar. It really set that bar. They've done a phenomenal job out there for the last 10 years. Every single person at that company cares about what they're doing, and that's resulted in the phenomenal Google ratings, being a proud partner of the Boston Red Sox, and really having a foothold in that market and being ranked as a top solar contractor in the U.S. So again, very excited about the growth of that company and what we can do there over the coming years. This is just an example of the quality of work you can see here. Very, very happy, happy customers. I've actually got a review yesterday that I wish I could read to you guys, but I didn't have time to get it into the slide. But again, it's all about that customer service. And in solar, it was a little bit of the Wild West. We're seeing kind of the next swing here, the second phase of solar with the consolidation. And this is a differentiator, being able to take that customer through the entire experience. So we're going to continue to do that throughout the U.S. Shortly after we acquired Boston Solar actually made their own acquisition in a company called EcoAdaptive. And it's, again, expanding the opportunity for us to sell into different markets, people or commercial building owners that maybe it doesn't necessarily make sense to go solar, but they want another revenue stream. So if we're looking at a commercial building, we can essentially rent their roof. We create an additional revenue stream from them. We take the hassle of owning that roof off of the plate for now, and we're producing the power for that business, and then ultimately being able to give them a recurring revenue stream and reducing that cost for their business. It spreads across multiple different opportunities, from multifamily homes to individuals, but ultimately we have an opportunity in Massachusetts right now that we want to expand nationwide to go ahead and run a rent your roof program throughout Mass and throughout the U.S. And why is it all important, right? And why is it happening now? Well, over the last 10 years, solar has really decreased in costs. And with this new IRA bill, the Inflationary Reduction Act bill, it's become even more economically and advantageous for people to go solar and utilize renewable energy sources. I believe the stat that I heard yesterday was energy costs are increasing anywhere from 50% to 500% throughout the Northeast, which means your utility bill is now going to increase. And we've seen that at the gas pump. It's a very similar analogy. Your gas prices have increased. Energy costs are increasing. And when you go solar or add a renewable aspect to your residence or to your building, you're essentially locking in that price of your energy costs and your energy production, which is great. It also makes you redundant. You have safety capabilities. And ultimately, we're hardening and expanding and making our grid more sustainable. Because as different natural events happen, natural disaster events might happen, you're able to still create, consume, and generate power and give back to the grid in those times of need when other people might need that support or when the grid might need that support. So the infrastructure here is huge. Very big opportunity right now and very economically advantageous for about 90 to 95% of the people throughout the U.S. And then the market opportunity there is massive. Only about 4% of the eligible homes and commercial solar buildings have actually installed solar or made progress. Yet 65% of people that were polled actually are interested in going solar or making that progress into learning more about it, which is huge right now in this space. So starting at the top, we have the lead generation. And again, this is all about being vertically integrated. At the end of the day, you can build any great mousetrap you want. But again, it does start with being able to generate the leads. And then on the backside, at the very end, when we're getting those installations, you got to have high quality crews, high quality people that are representing the business. So this is where it all begins. EnergyWise is able to produce leads, Facebook, Google, ads, PPC, everything like that. Very streamlined, very great business. And they're able to do that for us, but also they work with other businesses. So it's not a siloed revenue stream for that company. Direct Solar is focused on providing contracts. So we go out and develop contracts and we work with the homeowner specifically throughout multiple states, which allows us to expand quickly because we're not setting up new crews in each state. We can go into any state, any market and start selling solar and partnering with a high quality EPC there. And what we love about both of these businesses is it gives us a unique insight into the market. Who are the top quality installers? Who do we like working with? Who would we want as a part of our team? It allows us to really go in, survey a market we want to get into quickly, and establish whether we believe we want to be even operating in this market. So there's markets we've gone into and said, this isn't as exciting as we thought it would be. So let's go ahead and pull back and let's go to North Carolina, for example, where we're operating a lot at right now with Direct Solar. We work with the homeowners, close the contracts, partner with an installer who does the final installation. And ultimately what this moves towards, and we want to be able to control, is a customized online purchasing solution. So we've built a couple different technologies that we're working on improving upon so that if a customer wants that live interaction with one of our reps, great. We're going to be there to create that phenomenal customer experience. But there's so much moving to online purchases, especially with Tesla leading the way. These opportunities are there. There are homeowners, there are people that are totally comfortable going on and spending 20, 30, 40, 50 grand through an entirely online process. And we want to be able to create a holistic solution so that no matter what path you want to go down, we're going to be able to take you through that opportunity. Now, moving into the air purification side of our business, this has been a phenomenal acquisition. It's taking a little bit longer than we've wanted to because it's just a cycle of working with different schools, which are obtaining this money from a federal government spending through the ESSER funds. Again, there's $121 billion there available for air purification and ventilation in K through 12 schools. And we've moved through that. We've become experts. Our team has become experts in being able to help these schools unlock that money that's available there for them. The typical sales cycle is coming out to be about 10 months from initial PO sent or proposal sent to the school. And from that point on, they're then working through the board. They're working to pull that money down. And we have become, again, the experts in helping them pull that money down. So that's the differentiator. And that's the key, incentive to working with Box Pure Air is we're actually there with the expertise, with the ability to help these schools be able to unlock the funding that's there to improve their school's air quality, and now to even improve their school's safety as well. We're very excited about the most recent partnership with barrier products, ballistic barrier products, and we will be implementing those throughout the U.S. as they are also helping with being able to really secure doors, both from a ballistic standpoint, but also from an antimicrobial standpoint. So it's serving two pieces there. And again, the point of creating this network through the schools and what we've worked to do is that's what it is. We want to be able to monetize that network and be able to work with these schools so that they're able to get any product that they might need through this funding that's available. And there's lots of off-ramps. There's FEMA funding that's available now outside of the ESSER funds. So these schools can actually come back, even if they've already made a purchase from us, and utilize now the FEMA dollars that are available for them as well. So on the air purification side, where the company really started and has made its inroads, we're continuing to place those. We're working throughout California right now to get orders shipped. We are I would say the preeminent leader in California, listed on the state of California site for the non-public schools. And those orders are shipping here throughout Q3. So we're really excited about Box Pure Air in Q3 because we expect to see quite a few orders going out the door. Ultimately, there's 3 different sizes. We service the whole school, and it's plug and play from cafeteria down to principal's office and in between. We have a unit for you, and we'll come in, survey the space, figure out what is going to be the best for that area, and are able to drop ship right to the trailer, however many units you end up getting, where we come out and they're plug and play. They're set up within 5 minutes of receiving. Overall, the last 2 years we've been very happy with. We're continuing to improve the balance sheet. We've eliminated all the convertible debt. We've refinanced our debt that was due on demand into long-term debt, which all has been in an effort for us to get to NASDAQ, which we are very close to achieving that goal. I'm excited to say we're going to make those filings that we need to make here this year and be able to really push that forward. Something we're really proud of here, and I think a lot of shareholders that have followed us for quite some time, is that our last Q, we had $4.5 million in revenue compared to Q2 of 2021, which was just $400,000. So again, that acquisition of Boston Solar was huge. And I do want to point out that 4.5 million is not a full quarter. We only recognized maybe about 3/4 of the quarter because we acquired them April 21st. So huge opportunity here at SinglePoint. We're really firing on all cylinders right now with the acquisitions, the revenue growth of the company. We're in the right position at the right time in 2 industries that have massive tailwinds right now, both from government, but also just top of mind because it's the right thing to do. We want to be healthier, right? We want to be able to be more sustainable. We want to be able to support and harden the grid and keep our kids safe from the school. So there's a lot of really amazing things that we're out there doing right now, which I'm very proud of. I know our team is very proud of, and we're going to continue to push those forward. Again, just wrapping this up, we're pushing forward in air purification and solar and renewable space. Again, 2 top of mind things that are driving right now, and we're going to have some significant revenue growth throughout 2022 and into 2023. We've started that with the acquisition of Boston Solar, which increased our revenue from $400,000 last year in Q2 to $4.5 million this year in Q2. Again, my name is Wil Ralston. I'm the CEO of SinglePoint, Inc. Our ticker symbol is SING. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. At this point, I'd love to bring back Anna to answer any questions that may have come through. And thank you for joining our presentation.
Great job, Wil. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. So with all the new legislation that benefits SinglePoint's air purification and solar energy business, does the company have higher expectations for revenue from Box Pure Air and its new master distributorship with BBP and Boston Solar?
Yeah, absolutely. So BBP, just for everybody, that's ballistic barriers products. It's a new relationship that we have, and we've actually helped them design a product and have the trademark now on a product called Life Shield. So we do expect that to increase because, again, there's tons of money out there for what is being called school hardening, right? Which is making our schools safer for the teachers, for the kids, for the parents, anybody that's there, for these, for any tragic event that may occur or not, right? So we do expect that will be a product, and it's been a product that people have been asking for. Again, as I've said, we've built this network, and we've done it through building great relationships. Again, anybody that's seen my presentations before, I'm very, very insistent that we start with the people, right? And the people that we're working with, our customers, and really understanding their needs and running them through the best customer service, the best journey that they can have. So what is that, and how is that related? Bosch Pierre has built a phenomenal relationship out there in California with some of the people out there. And they've said, what other products do you guys have? We have, different funding. What can we do? And so we went out and said, hey, this is what we can provide. And it's all about that network. We've got that. Now that we're there, we can go ahead and take, another item that's in our portfolio back to the other schools that we've already sold to and worked with. So it's monetization of that network. It's providing the services and products that they want and are asking for. So yes, we do expect to see more revenue growth out of both entities. And again, so leading into Boston Solar, as you asked about that last part, Boston Solar and Bosch Pierre, as they build out that school network, we do foresee the opportunity and have already had discussions where schools will want to start going solar. As kids grow up, we're seeing so many different EV chargers and EV cars. Schools are going to have to be able to support that demand as kids start driving these to school. And it's already top of mind for them as they create a redundancy at the school in case there's power outages. So solar, energy storage, Bosch Pierre will be able to develop those relationships, and companies, our EPCs like Boston Solar that we own, will be able to come in and do those installations.
Thank you for that answer. So why don't I see any reference to SinglePoint on your subsidiaries' websites?
We're continuing to push forward on that. There's it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, whether you should have that on there or not. Eventually, we will want to have it somewhere. But right now, we have prioritized, this SinglePoint has prioritized ensuring that we get to NASDAQ, that we're making the proper acquisitions, we're getting the financials done, and ensuring that those key fundamental elements of the businesses continue to grow. And it just hasn't been top priority for us to ensure that that's been on there. But that is coming. As we check our things off and get everything else done, there's a lot going on here. We will make sure to get that done.
Is the company looking to expand its solar installation business beyond the Northeast?
Yeah, we want to grow to have really what would be the first national network. And again, solar is very regional. So we're going to do it through acquisition of high quality installation companies, EPCs, to grow throughout the U.S. Right now, we're focused in the Northeast because it's high energy prices. There's lots of great companies up there. And the Northeast is really leading the way for regulations, especially Massachusetts. Massachusetts is very far ahead in looking at what's coming down the pipe as far as safety, quality, materials. And so we're glad to have a foothold in that area.
Fantastic. What about, does Bosch Pure Solutions have the right to sell the entire product line of BBP, or just those products that can be sold at schools?
Yes, we actually have the right to sell the entire product line, and we can go through and sell all of ballistic barrier products. Another great thing about that is because we created and helped create the Life Shield, the door panel, we actually have a royalty on that going forward. So anybody that sells that, Bosch Pierre and BPA Solutions now will be able to collect a royalty off of anybody else that sells a door shield product as well.
We have a question from Larry Evans. He wants you to address dilution to shareholders with regard to shares issued during Q2 and the preferred A shares that can be converted. Yeah,
so the shareholders, any shares that have been issued throughout Q2, a lot of these different shares have been issued for acquisitions or for basically goals that have been hit. So some of these shares, they may not even be in the market as of yet. As well, the company's raised capital. We've made acquisitions, and I'm proud to say that we've gone and really increased our revenue, from that $400,000 mark to $4.5 million. And there's only one way to do that, right? And it's through acquisition, which there's a cost of capital of doing so. So I would say that anything that's been issued and out there, it's really benefited the company because it's built the platform, it's built the foundation, and now we're ready to make that next leap. And as far as the preferred A shares are concerned, really, those are all owned by management and insiders. So there's not really a whole lot that could happen there as everybody's locked up with those. So it really shouldn't be a significant, concern. And ultimately, when we move to NASDAQ, there's going to be changes that have to happen with those, right? Because it just is just for NASDAQ compliance and everything else. So everybody will be able to see what happens when those get posted and when we make those filings. But for now, that's what's out there, and that's how they'll be handled.
Great. We have a few questions from Brian Walton. So will you guys be doing any nationwide advertising, marketing, and commercials for the ballistic barrier products and the BPA solutions?
It's definitely been discussed. Right now, what we're really trying to attract is, and we believe there's the opportunity, is those organic interviews through local channels. That's definitely been talked a lot about out there. It's available. There's media that's interested in picking it up. So we'll continue to push on those. But absolutely, we want to get this out there because it really is a next, kind of the next step in hardening the schools, creating an additional layer of protection. It's all about, even in air quality, right? We use the term a layered defense. And this is the same thing. It's a layered defense within the schools. So creating safer environments for the kids, for the teachers, and for everybody out there. We're really excited about the launch of this product, which we just really got it done about a week ago, and have already seen massive traction within the schools that we've been working with already.
So have you been able to secure any bids or sales already?
So we haven't shipped anything out yet, but we have already sent proposals out to interested people that have requested a proposal. So what happens with that is a school has a request for proposal. We go ahead and send it out. And most of these are directly to us. It's not an actual, RFP per se out to the market. These have been where we're sending them. They're saying, hey, if we wanted, 500 for our entire school, what would that be? And then we send in that proposal. They then go through their board stuff to make sure they can get it all approved. So that will start, that's already started. We've already sent out some of those. So we'll see what the process is. Again, this will be kind of not a learning experience because we already do it on the air purification side, but it is a different product with a different set of rules and regulations. So they will be working through their teams to ensure that they can get those approved and shipped out to them.
And the last question from Brian: what are the BPA Solutions sales goals over the next quarter, 6 months, or a year?
Yeah, so we've really put the goal out there for and I'm just going to speak to 2022 here. We've really put the goal for them to be really at that $10 million mark. I still believe it's achievable. I still believe we're going to get there. It's been slower than anticipated. I think we're going to see a larger Q3 and into Q4 because that Q2 time is really when a lot of the teachers and the board and everything is on really summer vacation and they're preparing for other stuff. And some of these schools and different places, they really only have 1 or 2 board meetings a year. So it's going to be interesting to see, and hopefully we can smooth out kind of the lumpiness of that revenue. But it will probably come in lumps and chunks until we have enough of a national footprint where they're happening consistently.
Evan Riley wants to know, do you qualify for any grants you can take advantage of, specifically in the solar market, since the government is handing out so much cash?
So it's not directly at us that qualifies for the grants, but we are working with the recipients that would be able to. For example, any place such as any gathering place that's large, it could be a school, it could be a church. There's FEMA dollars right now that are available for them to install solar, battery backup, security solutions. And we're working with a couple of different places right now to really define how that process is going to work. So yes, we are not the direct recipient, but our customers are the recipients, and we're the experts in helping them pull down and get those grants approved and accepted, so that they can ultimately use them to buy and install our suite of products.
Sandra Cook wants to know when you plan to release your 6/30 quarterly report.
That has been released, and it is available either at OTCmarkets.com under our disclosure tab, or you can go to our website, which is posted on as well at SinglePoint.com, And another great way to do that is to go to the sec.gov, search for the ticker symbol SING, and you can actually see an entire history of all of our 8Ks, as well as our Ks and Qs, and all the other regulatory filings that we have to make there.
Scott Stefani says, several months ago, there was a PR about a multi-million-dollar contract for BPA in California. And since then, there's been no discussion about what the total contract looks like and when it will be fully fulfilled. Do you have any details that can be shared about that contract? Specifically, what percentage of this contract will be reported by years? And do you still expect the 35 to 40 million revenue in total?
Yeah, so that contract that came out is, basically through California, we were included in being able to be the one of the suppliers that supplies air purification solutions throughout the non-public schools. Within that, there is $5 million allocation that is going towards the air purification solutions. And that's what I'm talking about in being able to deliver throughout Q3. We expect to see a lot of that ship out in Q3 and into Q4. So yes, that's still on track. Again, as anything goes with some of the different government entities out there, there's just minor changes, delays, whatever it might be, but it is working out there. And the reason for that, just to clarify a little bit, is this type of program has really never been done before at the federal level or the state level. And it's really a one-time spend. So everybody is being very diligent and very smart about how they're going through this. And they're not afraid to say, hey, you know what, this question came up. Let's go ahead and deal with that before we officially move forward. So we've been working alongside the schools, the boards, and the different regulators to work through those processes. But that's why it's been a little bit slower than anticipated, because if anybody's has any historical knowledge of it, when the first ESSER funds came out ever, the very first ones to help deal with the different COVID issues when COVID first came about, everybody ran out and bought millions and millions of dollars of plexiglass, gloves, and things like that, just to find out that didn't really solve the problem. So there's a little bit of a hesitancy now. But with all the different air quality studies that have come out and various things like that have proved our solution works at Box Pure Air with our certified HEPA filtration, being UL listed, EPA certified, having all the regulations and all the studies done, that this actually improves the air quality within your building and is able to remove those viral particles. It's really a great solution. So yes, we expect that to continue to grow and be pushed out there. And then, yes, we want to continue to hit our revenue goals and metrics that we've set out there before. And again, to reiterate, we're looking at that on an annualized basis. So because we didn't make that Box Pure Air acquisition until April 21st, we're missing the entire first quarter and part of the second quarter. So annualized, we're expecting to hit our goals that we've put out there and our guidance that we've out there. Reporting wise, which you'll see come out in the Ks and on the annual report, it may be slightly short of that. But again, I'm reiterating, we're looking at that on an annualized basis to be able to hit those numbers.
Fantastic. Thank you for that answer. Gary Marshall has a few questions. What are your plans to meet minimum NASDAQ requirements and any plans to reverse split?
So we're absolutely going to be looking at all available options for us to go ahead and list. It's really, there's a lot of dynamics and a lot of chess pieces that you kind of move to make this lift up to NASDAQ. The goal will be to move there as organically as possible. Currently where we're at right now, we wouldn't be able to do so without a reverse, but ultimately the reverse is, it's exchanging 4 quarters for $1. So we understand that there's a lot of negativity around that stuff sometimes, but what we've experienced and what we've seen is if there's a significant event like the company moving to NASDAQ, it will be beneficial for everybody involved. Obviously, we want to make it as small as possible, so we're going to do everything we can to not have to do that if we don't have to. We're pushing not to have to, but we'll see what happens when it comes time to list. A lot of people have asked about the timing. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Unfortunately, that's really out of our control. We have to make a lot of filings. We have to get approval from NASDAQ. We have to get work through the SEC and answer all the questions there. So there's elements that are out of our control, which is why it's really hard to pin down a time frame of getting officially approved and listed. But we will continue to work diligently and quickly. We've hired great legal counsel. We've hired a great banker that helped us get the Boston Solar acquisition done. So it's an exciting time for the company. I think if anybody goes and looks at OTC valuations of our market cap versus our direct competitors on the NASDAQ, you'll see we're actually outpacing revenue growth. We're outpacing current revenue, yet our market cap's only about 1/5 of theirs. So ultimately, we're going to do the best thing for the company, the best thing for the shareholders, and be able to make that lift and do it in the most seamless way possible.
Great. Another follow-up question from Gary Marshall. What does order pipeline look like, and how does revenue project based on existing prospective sales?
So order pipeline, I'm going to answer that in two parts, being Box Pure Air and then the solar side of the business. The order pipeline for Box Pure Air continues to build, right? And to be able to unlock with those schools and be able to get those contracts fulfilled, there's just multiple components. So they've put out tens of millions of dollars in proposals and RFPs that could come through at any point. One example of that is New York had actually ordered $70 million of a different type of air purification and pulled them all out of the schools because they're introducing ions, which introduced ozone, which is not healthy to have in high doses indoors. So that's an opportunity where whether it's New York or Florida, one of those big momentum events, and internally I've called it the X factor. We could get one of those contracts. We've sent in the proposals. We meet all the required specifications. It just depends on whether that state or that district decides to pull that trigger and say, hey, we're going to go with this in a big way. But we're a viable contender in there. We have the discussions. We have the contacts there and are a competitor for winning some of those contracts. On the solar side, Boston Solar's pipeline continues to build. The company has set record sales month over month and year over year. Really, the sales team there, the install team, that company, I'm very excited for them. I'm sure everybody there is continuing to be excited to see what's happened and what's happening within solar, and really just how much they are, focused on the customer service of that business. And that's driven a lot of the growth. When you have, your crew that's showing up every day professionally and working with the homeowners, you get referrals from that. Like, you build a community, and that's really what Boston Solar has done. They've been able to do it at every level, which is really what we want to do, for our EPCs going forward as well. And right now they have a backlog already of, I believe it's over $6 million of projects that are ready to be installed, or in process to get permit to be installed. So that backlog continues to increase as we continue to build inventory, as we receive permits from the different AHGs out there. We will continue to knock down and reduce that backlog, but it'll continue to grow at the same time because the sales will continue to grow.
Well, we have a few questions I'm going to try to combine with the sales part. Rex Martin also asks, with regard to your sales, is it safe to say that part of your pitch is not out of pocket to them, rather showing them how to tap government incentives? And if so, which of your models does this apply to? And talk a little bit about revenue and sales.
Yeah, so as far as the sales go, it's really going to be homeowner specific to their solution, right? What are they looking to get out of it? Is it, a lot of people are looking to save money, and they're looking to ensure that, they have redundancy moving forward and have power when they most need it. So the sales pitch is kind of changing a little bit, just globally, right, within the industry, because now you're providing, providing back to the grid, you're providing back to the community, and you're doing it in an affordable, effective way. But yes, at the end of the day, it does come down to what can you put in the homeowners' pockets, which comes through savings. I'm not a big fan, and none of our companies have really been a big fan of saying you get to do this for free, because let's face it, none of it's free. The fact of the matter is you're going to get, you have these different tax rebates out there, so hopefully you qualify for them. And, in most cases they do, and those have been extended again from 26% this year, which was supposed to waterfall. They've actually now been gone up to 30%, and they've been extended for 10 years. So it's a huge economic value to people that want to go solar and now EV charging, because that's extended to EV charging as well. So no, we don't sell based on, you're going to get this or that. We really look to build a solution specific to the customer that meets their financial goals, as well as their goals of having solar or energy storage. But it's on an individualized basis, because there's not a one size fits all solution for anybody, because, let's face it, nobody's house is exactly the same. So one person might have one panel, another people could have 500 panels. So it's going to be a completely different economic view from both of those types of deals.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been a thrilling presentation. Thank you for joining us, Wil, and join us again in the future with your updates.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. I appreciate it. And thanks again to Emerging Growth for putting this on. And everybody that's tuned in, you can reach us at investors@singlepoint.com if you have any more Q&A questions. And we'll be back on Emerging Growth soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, everyone,
Thanks.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with our last presenter.